Welcome to the channel and welcome to this unboxing video of the latest Seraphon release. That's right folks, GW have sent me the Seraphon free of charge for your unboxing pleasure. Firstly, apologies for any background noise you might hear on today's video. It's unfortunately unavoidable. It was either have the background noise or have no video. So on balance, I decided video will be preferable. So, in no particular order, I'm going to grab the top one. And this is the Spawn of Chotec. So, I think in previous parlance, this would have been called a Fire Salamander. Oh, look at the scale, 1:1. Huge big fin. The paint job on that is lovely. I wonder if there are any... I wonder if that pattern is actually on the model, moulded onto the model. And then the herders with the two prods and someone who's in charge. Maybe in Seraphon that sign says, danger, rampaging fire lizard. Let's see. Excuse me. Right then. Da-da-da. There we go. Right, build instructions, single sprue, 325mm bases. This looks like 105 oval, possibly a 90. What do we have? Okay, so we have the lizard. I mean, the scales on the new Seraphon are just amazing. I do love all the new Seraphon models. I mean, if I had an infinite amount of time. Yeah. So the salamander itself doesn't look like it's in a huge number of pieces. Big fin there, long back piece, couple of positional rocks, and I'm guessing, yeah, and some. Oh, are they part of the skinks? Oh, different head options. So there's a closed head option. It looks like. Let me zoom in a bit. Oh, yeah. Looks like there's a closed head option and an open head option. Then we've got, looks like separate feet and legs. These are definitely skinks. These legs would be too spindly to hold that giant lizard. Yeah, big chunky joints and separate feet. Stabby sticks. The skinks are in a lot of parts as well. That looks like a feather, I would say headdress, but back dress. Then there's the warning sign, danger, fiery lizard. Oh, two different warning signs. One has feathers. One has gold tassels. Yeah, very cool. Right, what are the options in the book? It looks like the build options are mouthy open, mouthy closed. Oh, right, I mistook, and there are some options for, I want to say headdress, but it's not a headdress. It's like a mane in the same way as like a salamander or I want to say a coxel. That's going to be entirely the wrong word, but it's what vaguely springs to mind. Like external gills. So that'll be what they are, but there's different ones. Hadn't cottoned onto that. The legs are all pretty much the same. Choose the variant you want to build. Oh, they have not only just mouth open and closed, the sort of head membranes, spines and membranes are all fanned out on that one. That's sort of an aggressive stance. And I guess that's more passive, where it's sort of sleek back a bit. And how to build each one. Two different skink attendants. A giant feline who has a lack of positional awareness. Then the skinks are mono build, it looks like, with the exception of the warning sign, which is probably not a warning sign. So that's the Spawn of Chotec. So working kind of right to left as I look at them, we have the Saurus Astrolith bearer. Oh, some kind of banner bearer. That's presumably a Saurus champion of some sort, and that's got to be some kind of magic ether thing made of pure realm stuff. Or, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure the battle tome will tell me what's in it. Would tell me what's in it, but I don't have it. Looking forward to the battle tome coming out, seeing what all these funky things are and what they can do. But, what are we seeing on the box? Are we seeing any build options on the box? Nope, right then. Nothing leapt out at me, but the sprue. Okay. 40mm base. Whoa. Look at the size of that thing. Hand for scale. And I have large hands. That's huge. That's just the width of the box. It's very cool. Different little, I don't know, petroglyphs? That might actually be just a made-up word from Archer. Not hieroglyphs. Maybe petroglyphs are a real word. I don't know. What do we have? We have a big golden headdress with lots of sort of circly motifs and pointy triangles. That's very Seraphon-esque. Then some foliage growing off this piece of Seraphon rubble. He's got a foot rock. A rock shoe. Big jacket. I mean, I think I could probably cut a loaf of bread with that. Then he's got something tied to his belt. Presumably that's something of significance. It's sort of like a boop. It's kind of... Will it focus on that? Not too well. So it's sort of tied on with various different ropes. It's tied on at like 5 points. So I assume that's got some kind of significance. Maybe that's an item or something the model has. Then we've got shoulder piece, necklace, lots of nice gold gubbins. Underbelly of some sort. The other side of the torso and tail has another one of those things on it. I wonder what they are. And then what looks like a gold loincloth. Interesting. Teeny tiny little instruction book. Doesn't look like we have any build variants so far. We've got the one big hitty stick, and then the icon thing. Well, no, it's not going to be icon, is it? The Astrolith is in the other hand. There we go. Giving her a dinner has only spared me for one box. Okay, so that's the Saurus Astrolith bearer. Right, now we have the Kroxigors. Interesting. So I'm just pondering the shape of their faces, and I'm not quite sure what I think of them. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what the old Kroxigors looked like. I used to love the Kroxigors. They were the reason I nearly had Lizardmen in fantasy battle, because I wanted Kroxigors in skink regiments so they could attack from the second rank. I like the clubs that are that they look a lot more well wrought as opposed to just being lumps of stone. And there are optional assemblies with different types of weapons. That's good. So these look like clubs of some sort. That's probably a mortal wound debris, I would guess, because it looks like it's got a magic rock in it. And these are Kroxigor and Warspawn. So they're, I guess, bigger, nastier ones. Oh, they've got sort of crocodile heads. Oh! Cool, right, let's get the box open. Right, what do we have? Okay, looks like we've got 3 50mm bases. Instructions, slightly bent instructions. We'll do those in a minute. And 3 sprues. Okay, what do we have? Okay. Oh wow, those clubs are a lot bigger than I was expecting. I mean, compare that to the size of my thumb. That is a large. Hammer head, club head. So we've got the different types. Rocks surrounded in spiky gold. We've got the sort of mystery glowing thing. We've got one head type, which is I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It's kind of like a cross between a dinosaur and a tyrannid. It's kind of what it reminds me of. Got some necklaces, some other adornment, scaly bits of limbs, lots of open mouths. I mean, you can see the definition. In fact, I don't know if the zooming will really help. It didn't a minute ago. You can see the definition on the teeth. They are pretty individual, those. Which I think is, yeah. I just tried to tap the model rather than the camera. Yeah. So what's that? Is that like a counterweight? Yes, it is. Oh, is it? I'm not sure what that piece is. Oh, it's the tail of the unit champion. Presumably a gold ball rock tied on is something. Here we have one of the more crocodilian style heads. The definition on the scales on the models is very nice. It's like it's made for contrast paint. And here's where this sort of armoured crest comes back. That's, like I say, that reminds me very much of Tyranids, but of course Tyranids very much taken a lot of their inspiration from dinosaurs in the first place, so it kind of goes full circle. Sort of unarmoured torso, or lightly armoured torso, and then another one of the big double-headed heads. I mean, thumb for scale again. It's huge. And then what's this? That's part of the tail, I assume? Part of one of their tails? Next one. Okay, I mean, we have much of the same. We have some of these head pieces, weapon head pieces, more crocodile heads, more taily bits, more scaly bits, more decoration-y, loinclothy bits with things like feathers and gold pendants hanging from them. What's that kind of plant called? I want to say rubber tree, but it's not. My gran used to have one. I can't remember what it's called. Because my gran lived in the 8 realms. More ornamentation, limbs. Oh, even this one's got like a swirly, presumably golden bit on his jaw. And again, more of the same on the third sprue. So we've got a little bit of brick wall going on here, with a bit of zigzag pattern on it. Maybe one of them's standing on it or near it. Hopefully near it. Hopefully they're not forever surfing on a magic rock. Not sure exactly what this bit is. Is this a cat again? I think that might be a counterweight, but I guess we'll see in the instructions. Yes, very nice stuff. Right, it's quite a thick instruction book. So you can either do Kroxigors or Kroxigor Warspawn. So this looks like the Kroxigors. Here are the different tail options. Are they tail options? I think they're tail options. Interchangeable parts, I guess we'll see in a minute. The Kroxigor weapon heads, the Warspawn weapon heads. The bodies look like they build the same, but with the their tail ends, interchangeable tail ends. Then you can have different variants for pose on this first model, either standing with the weapon above the shoulder ready to overswing, or down by his side ready to swing horizontally. Then how to put the interchangeable parts for the two variants, the Kroxigor and the Warspawn. And even within those, I think there are variants. Different heads can match different... it looks like different heads can match different neck pieces. Is that right? I think it is. Then it looks like we repeat for the next one. Torso build is pretty much the same. Tail variants. Then what stance do you want it in? Slightly higher, slightly lower. They don't look too different, just the angle, I guess. This one has got some jewellery on the bracelets, on the arms. And again, then how to fill out for either a Kroxigor or a Kroxigor Warspawn and the variations within. Then this looks like the same for the next one. And here you have different options. So you've got the... Now I'm assuming this is unit leaders, because you've got two Kroxigor variants. One's got the special doobry on it, the special hammer and special tail, and I'm assuming that's a different head for the Warspawn. And then these are the oh no, there are more Kroxigor variants for the standard weapon and the special weapon. I'm sure that other one was the champion. Then maybe the champion can have the special weapon. Oh no, this must be how to put the champion on a different variant, because yeah, it's got the neck adornment on them. And then how to put those ones together. And then what appears to be optional or variable scenery for the... Well, I mean, it looks like he has to be standing on something with a raised foot, but there are options. Could be a log, or some bricks, or whatever, or something similar. Right, now we have the Saurus Scar-Veteran on Aggradon. So he looks like he's not a unit champion. There are Aggradon Lancers of the other unit. So he looks like I'm going to say a hero, an old one, a veteran hero. To say Scar-Veteran, yeah. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's got a sort of Jurassic Park raptor kind of look to it. Okay, 90mm oval, I think. Instructions and a single sprue. I'd guess it's monopose with possibly a small variation option. Yeah, so one thing I really do like about this range is if you look at the head of the mount, that the jaw is wide open and it's yelling. A lot of the older sculpts just have the mouth open slightly, so you can kind of see the teeth. You can catch the teeth on the things with big tusks. These have got multiple small razor tusks, and that mouth is so open you can see its tonsils. You could paint dinosaur tonsils. Excellent. Lots of nice detail. Again, I mean, these models are made for contrast. The inlaying of all this design and the headrest and the scales. What a big... Is that a leaf or is that a... Oh, it looks like a feather, and it looks like it ties to the mount's tail for some reason. Presumably a reason for that. Some armor plates on the veteran. Bit of neck gold. That looks like part of his head and or face. Looks like there's an obligatory piece of base art, but I don't know how well it's attached to it. What is this? How does that go together? That looks like a tongue and razor spines. Maybe does the head close on that? So the tongue sticks out of here and the spines go along there? Yeah, maybe. Where's the other part of the head? I don't know, maybe that'll become clear in the instructions. Okay, no build variants yet. We've got the building of the main torso, adding the limbs. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what it does. It goes between the two jaw parts to form the thing. Yes, there is one variant option. You can change the weapon in his hand. It can either be a spear or some kind. It can either be a spear or some kind of pick with feathers on the back end. And there are build options for the heads. You can have the Scar-Veteran head looking different, with either sort of scales or headdress or something of that nature. And that's the Saurus Scar-Veteran on Aggradon. And now we have the Aggradon Lancers. So we can already see from the box, this looks like a standard cavalry unit. There's 3. There's a musician, got some drums and hitty sticks. That looks like a standard bearer of sorts. I'm going to assume that's a champion. So I'm guessing there's build variants for not those. Also looks like from the box there's an alternate unit type with not spears and with there's a special name for those and I can't remember it. Well, there's a special name for the real Aztec ones. There's almost certainly going to be a special name for the Seraphon ones. Right then. Done with box gazing. Let's get on to the unboxing. Oof. That's got some heft to it. Okay. Looks like 3 70mm ovals? 70mm ovals? Is that a thing? 75mm ovals. Not a bad guess. Right then, what do we have? Okay, we've got some big lizard torso. Can you hear that? That's the texture of the rope. It's got a rope around its neck, rope tying it under, and it's got enough ridges that when I run my finger along it, it makes a sort of zzz noise. That's some good ridges. We've got sort of long 3-fingered hands, a little bit like no, not Quaid. In Total Recall, what was his name? Quaid was Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm not even thinking of the right guy. Anyway, it was Benny. It was Benny who had the hand that did the 3 things. But I was trying to think of the name of the other guy. I'm going to quickly move on before I go totally off topic and stay there. We've got legs with those sort of raptor-style claws. That's very Jurassic Park, that. Well, as in it's very sort of reminiscent of, dinosaurs. Some more armor plating. Lizard heads with, that looks like quite a heavily armoured crest. And I don't mean it's got gold armour on it. I mean his head's thick to withstand bashing. Shield arms. Now I think I saw there were variant shields. Sort of neck crest things. Tails with bits of jewellery on them. More headdress, collar, mane type things. Spears, more bits of torso, armor placing on legs. Excellent. Right. Now, here we have some more of those shields we talked about. I don't know which variants are which. They've got a sort of plug-in-y bit to attach to those arms. All different styles. They're similar, but there are differences. This one's got sort of holes. That one's got sticky outy bits. This one's got oh no, they are the same. Are they exactly the same? No, they are different, but I can't quite work out why. There's like a cog tooth inlay on that one, and this bit's got a sort of zigzag snake type thing, and then that's got more sort of triangle-y teeths. Then we got the drums. Oh, a big yoke neck collar for somebody. Then one of the heads. Yeah, very dinosaur-y. Terrible lizards. And this looks like tail sections, other tail sections. I imagine these are quite long with all these different sections joining together. Or is that how it works? I mean, these are long tails and quite fat bodies, so yeah, they're probably a good 3-4 inches, I would say. Nose to tail. A couple of big feathers that look like they're tied on, presumably to a tail. Another big, wide open mouth. You can see this guy's tonsils, or gal, and all those teeth. Yes. Then on this sprue, we've got, looks like we've got a lot of arms on this sprue. We've got some spears, we've got the drumsticks, we've got the alternate combat weapon, we've got multiple alternate combat weapons, multiple spears, standard bearer, icon. Can't see multiple standard bearer icons. Maybe the two different variants share the same one. They use the same one. Yes. So what do the instructions say? So it looks like we've got two variants here. Yes, we've got the ones with spears and the ones with hand weapons of sorts. Then it looks like the heads are interchangeable parts, and possibly the tails. Yeah, from the shape of these, I think the tails would be interchangeable as well. So it looks like you can do quite a few different variants. You've got 3 tails, 3 different heads, 9 combinations you can build there. So each, if you had a 9-strong unit, double reinforced, I assume, then yeah, they'd all look different. That's cool. The head variants fit all the torsos. The tail variants fit all the torsos. Different feathers on the end of the various tails. I mean, the combinations are practically infinite. Well, no, there's about 3 dozen possibilities. But there are different. Looks like there are different arm variants. You can have the weapons held at different angles, so you can combine those on the riders. I mean, this does all make it a lot more configurable is maybe not the right word, but yeah, they aren't just going to look like they're all carbon copies of each other when you've got big units. So 2 different options for the champion. So this is a regular champion, but then these are Aggradon Lancers. So you can do this model as a champion or a regular lancer, with different weapon options, of course. Same thing. Build the body, stick a head on it, stick a tail on it, stick a tail on it, stick a feather on the tail. Similar for the rider, stick a neck on the headdress. Different heads for different necks for different. So the headdress seems to have the neck on it, which puts the head at a different angle. So yeah, so if you really if you worked out all the various permutations and look at the shields and so on, there's probably 50 different ones you could do that look moderately different. I mean, when it comes to just changing the head or changing the angle of the head or the pattern on the shield, I mean, they're going to look as similar as I'm using the wrong words there. They're going to look pretty similar. Okay. Then standard bearer on the lizard. Then final one, you can either do a drummer or a regular lancer. Yeah. Torso, head, lizard, usual stuff. Different shield, different heads. And the lancers are unboxed. And last but not least, we have the Seraphon Skink Starseer. I absolutely love this model. I love the sort of floating thrones, but that one isn't... Is it floating or is it stuck to that magic rock? But I love the fact that a skink priest can be of sufficient status to have their own little throne. So yes, I think that's meant to be floating. And there's some different build variants. This is a sort of golden metally headdress. This one's all colourful and feathery. Okay, let's get in there. Oh, 2 sprues. 2 sprues. Okay, 50mm base, instructions. What do we have here? This throne's actually pretty big. That's the back piece by the looks of it. The bottom bit, the base of it. Then some other stonework. This looks like a sort of celestial disc. I imagine those are meant to be stars or planets. The skink priest. It looks like it doesn't necessarily need to have the headdress on it. I don't know if that is an option, but the head looks pretty intact without a headdress. I do like the sort of drooping vines falling from one thing to another, but then that's obviously a structural part of the model to help hold it up. But I do love the aesthetic of it. It looks sort of, it's been in the jungle for a long time, and it's one with it. More bits. We've got more of the backrest with all those vines growing up it, more of the sides with the vines growing around them, another part of the base, another part of that celestial star aspect, another skink. So they are 2 different skink variants, it would appear. Different headdress that looks like the topper of a staff, also with celestial bodies moving around. That's pretty cool. Those look like the sort of floaty magic pinion things, but are very much part of the structural part of the model to remove the need for a transparent stick. And that looks like part of a feathery cloak. Right, what are these variants then? Okay, so you've got 2 different variants. They look pretty similar, except for it looks like the aperture around the star circle is larger in this one and in that one. So maybe part of its function is it opens and closes. I don't know. But it looks like you build it with whichever, however open you want it to be. Then there's all sorts of bits and bobs you attach to it. Then you build the base around it. Then you attach all the gubbins to the base. Then you put the magic floating feet on it upside down, and then you turn it that way, and it's bingo! It can walk on its magic floaty feet. And yeah, this one here's got the vine doing the same job, which I quite like. So there is one of the floaty feet that's stuck out and floating, and it's actually a bit of vine that's holding the thing up. That's very nice. a couple of cautionary pieces. Not quite sure why it's cautioning you. Oh no, sorry, it's just showing you it's the model the other way up, how to fit that piece. So that's the throne. Then you've got the Skink Priest. Yes, you've got two different variants. You've got feathers with what looks like some kind of crystal ball and gemstone staff, and you've got metal with a different kind of crystal ball on a stick and a different staff. So you got the first variant with the headdress, the staff, still has a feather cloak on it, and that sits on the throne. Then you have the next variant, sorry, stands on the throne, stands on the platform. This variant, on the other hand, which has the aperture more closed. Is the aperture more closed on this one? Yes, it is sat on some kind of plinth on the throne and is gazing at the rock in its hand with its staff. Are these interchangeable, I wonder? Yeah, I'm sure you can magnetize those. You've got that big one sits in the middle on there, and that one goes on by the staff and 2 feet. Of course, the aperture's different. Is that a big deal? I don't know. I haven't read the book. There we go. That's the Skink Starseer unboxed. And that's it. That's all of them opened and gone through. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you want to support me, check out the description of the video for different ways to do that. And whether you do or whether you don't, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.